Good day, grade 12, and welcome back to our mathematical literacy lessons. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the order of operations. We are going to look in which order we must do these operations so that we can get the correct answer. It's very important that you must remember how to do the operations in the correct order and not rely on your calculator to do that for you. Grade 12, when we do operations in mathematics, there is a specific order that we must follow. And I'm quite sure many of you are aware of this. We call this in short BODMAS. Let us just quickly review again what does it stand for. We know that the B stands for brackets. We know that the O stands for off. And remember, that off is the same thing as multiplication. We know that the D stands for definition and the M for multiplication. Now, when it comes to the division and the multiplication, it is actually very important that you must remember, when you come to division and multiplication, it is important to remember that we are actually doing them simultaneously. And we do them in the order as we find them from left to right in a calculation. I'll illustrate that to you a little bit later on. The next then is my addition and subtraction. You will see I again write them the one next to the other one and not the one after the other one. The reason being again, addition and subtraction are done simultaneously as we find them from left to right in the calculation. Okay, let me practice with you a few, then I'll give you also some to do. Look at the first one I've got here for you. 3 times 4 in brackets plus 8 minus 6. What are we going to do first? We are going to do first the bracket. Yes, in other words, we are going to work out 4 plus 8. 4 plus 8 is of course 12. Okay, and then we are going to subtract the 6. What am I going to do now? Which operation comes first? Multiplication or subtraction? You will see multiplication is before subtraction. So first I multiply by 3. 12 times 3 is going to give me 36. And then I'm going to subtract the 6 to give me a final answer of 30. Are you alright with that, grade 12? Let us just look at this one also. Here is no bracket. So what is it that I'm going to do now? I've got a minus sign, a multiplication sign, and a plus sign. According to my orders of operations, the multiplication must be done first. So I'm going to say 84 minus, and I'm going to work out 6 times 4 first. 6 times 4 is 24 plus 9 then. Now grade 12, I've got a minus and a plus sign. What am I going to do? Remember, I do addition and subtraction simultaneously, working from left to right. So first I'm going to subtract. I'm going to say 84 minus 24. That is going to give me 60. Then I am going to add the 9. Finally, to get the answer of 69. Right with that? Can I give you also one to try? Please, here is one for you to try. I'm going to give you 1 minute. Let me just go over it. It's 4 multiply in bracket 6 minus 3. Then add 12. Then divide by 2. Let's see if you can do it. Okay, grade 12, how did you find that one? Let us quickly look at the answer and see if you are correct. First of all, we must do what is in the bracket. So I'm going to keep on writing the other things down, but I'm going to work out what is in the bracket. And the bracket says 6 minus 3. 6 minus 3 is, of course, 3. Then I'm going to add the 12. And finally, I'm going to divide by 2. Again, which operations am I going to do next? I have a multiplication sign, an addition sign, and a division sign. Multiplication and division is done before addition. And remember, we do them from left to right as we find them in the calculation. So I'm going to say 4 times 3 is 12. I'm not going to add now. I first want to work out what is 12 divided by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So 12 plus 6 is going to give me 18. Did you get that answer, grade 12? Okay. Here is another one for you to do. I'm not going to do it now, but please do it and take it to your teacher to make sure that you are doing it correctly. Write it down quickly. 12 times, in bracket, 20 minus 15, divide by 2, plus 3. Okay, grade 12. Let us also talk about using the square root sign or the square function. When you are doing this root sign, a square root sign in this case, or when you are going to square a number, we are putting on them the same value as we put on the bracket signs. In other words, we always do the squares and the square roots first. If you look at this one I'm giving you, 7 square plus 15 minus 25 square root. Remember that 7 square in fact means 7 times 7. Yes, you know that. You are right. So if I'm going to work out first the 7 square, I'm going to have 49. See if you can learn your tables and know these things by heart. It's much better than to every time consult the calculator. What am I going to do next? I have plus and minus, but here I have a square root sign. And remember, the root sign get exactly the same advantage as the brackets. So, for now I'm not going to add. I'm first going to work out the square root. The square root of 25 is 5. Yes, because we know that 5 times 5 is 25. And now I can work out. Now I only have plus and minus. So now I can work it out from left to right to get the right answer. 49 plus 50, 64. And then finally I subtract my 5. 64 minus 5 give me 59. Okay, grade 12, you are doing very fine. You may wonder why I'm giving you this easy stuff to do. But remember, everything in MathLit is about calculations, and it's very important that you must always use the correct order of the operations. You will, however, see from time to time, always in the beginning of paper 1, that there is also one of these sums that we have to work out. This one I found in an old question paper. Let's look at it. Let's look at this one. You will see that in this sum, I have in fact a square root and a bracket. What you must remember is that the square root is getting the same preference that the bracket is getting, and that we are doing it first. Let us work out the square root of 9,673. Punch in your calculator and press equal. Now it's giving me a decimal number. There's quite a few numbers after the decimal comma. What am I going to do with that? My advice to you would be to keep all the numbers and to write them down, and only to round off your final answer. I'm going to write that for you. I have the 3/4 of the square root of 9,673. What does of mean? Of means multiplication. So I'm going to say 3/4 times, and now I worked out the square root. I'm going to write everything down. 98,35141,077, so that I can get the most accurate answer possible. I'm not going to subtract right now. I'm first going to do the brackets. In the brackets, I have a plus sign. Another way of saying that we are going to plus is to say that we're going to get the sum of two numbers. So, on the calculator again, we are going to add 5.9325 plus 2.16937. And the answer? There you have it, 8,10187. Which operation is going to come next, grade 12? I see a multiplication, I see a minus, and then here, between 0,5 and the bracket, I don't see any operation sign. If I don't see an operation sign, like in this case, we are going to multiply. So let us work out first now the multiplications before we're going to do the subtraction. 3/4, I'm going to use the calculator again. 3/4 of this number that we got when we worked out the square root of 9,673 gives me 0.5. And when I work out the last part of the sum, 0,5 multiplied by 8,10187, my answer is 4,050935. Finally, I can now subtract. Let us look at that answer again. I punch in the first number. I subtract the second number, and my answer is 69,712,62308. But remember that the general instruction is always to round off all final answers to 2 decimal numbers. So if I'm now going to round off this 69,712,62308 to 2 decimal numbers, if I want to round to 2 decimal numbers, I am going to have to look at the third number. And the third number in this case is 2. Can the 2 make this 1 a 2? No. 69,71 is therefore our final answer. Grade 12, you can round off in the steps in between. But to get your most accurate answer, we only round off in the final, preferably. Here is the last one. I'm going to leave it for you to do. Please write it down. 1,441,62 minus, and be careful, the square root is over the whole thing, ne? 8,7 square minus 13,26. Okay, grade 12, I'm going to trust that you will find this answer and that you will go back to your teacher to check that this answer that you found is correct. I'm now going to give over to one of my other colleagues, Metsiri Motludi, who is going to do with you maps and scales. Goodbye.
Good day, grade 12 learners. Let me thank Dr. Renette van der Merwe for the lesson that she gave you. Basic skills calculations are very, very important in mathematical literacy. And this afternoon, I'll be doing with you maps and scales. Now, I've prepared some questions that I'm going to do with you today. And I have here the map of the part of Bloemfontein. And we all know that Bloemfontein is in Free State. Now, before we go to the questions, I want us to discuss or look at the map very carefully, because we are going to use this map to answer the questions. And it's very important, grade 12, that you make sure that you analyze the information given to you before you start answering the questions. I've prepared today the map of Bloemfontein that we are going to use to answer questions. And we all know that Bloemfontein is in Free State. Now, like I've said, it is very, very important, grade 12, that you analyze the information given to you before you start answering questions. Now, looking at this map, let us start firstly by looking at why do we have to study maps in mathematical literacy. Now, in mathematical literacy, we always try by all means to bring the outside world into the classroom. Let's say you want to travel from wherever you are. Let us say by now you are in Botshabelo or you are in Tabanchu. You want to travel to come to Bloemfontein, and you want to visit the Kings Park Zoological Gardens in Bloemfontein. Now, in order for you to know how to get to this place, it means you need the map. You need to know the streets that you are going to use to travel in order for you to reach that particular place. So, the purpose of us in mathematical literacy studying the maps, a map is used to give a visual representation of a certain area and are commonly used to give direction on which way to travel. We all know that technology nowadays is very important to us. It sometimes makes things easy for us, but it's not always whereby you are having your cell phone for you to use your navigator, or maybe it might happen that your cell phone is dead, or the battery is dead or something. So you always need a map in order for you to travel to a place that you want to know. So that is why we are studying maps in mathematical literacy. Now, in the map that I have here, we do have a scale, like it is indicated there. The scale that is indicated to us is 1:10,000. Now, this means that, let us say for an example, we are working in centimeters. This means that 1 centimeter on this map represents 10,000 centimeters on the actual map. So I've said to you, we are bringing the outside world into the classroom. Remember, it is not possible for us to bring the map of Bloemfontein as it is to a classroom. So we are using a scale in order for the map to fit perfectly into the A4 paper. So, like I've said, for an example, if it's maybe in centimeters, it means that 1 centimeter on this map represents 10,000 centimeters on the actual map of Bloemfontein. Now, I have this information for you that explains exactly what a map scale is. So this the information there, it says map scale refers to the relationship or the ratio between distance on a map and the corresponding distance on the ground. Distance on the map, we are referring to this, small piece of map that we have on the A4 paper. We are actually corresponding it to the map on the ground. Like I've said, for an example, on a scale 1:100,000 scale map, if maybe the measurements are in centimeters, it means that 1 centimeter on a map represents 100,000 centimeters on the ground. Now, the other thing that I would like us to look at on this map before start answering the questions is the grid analysis. Usually, our maps will be given to us in this format. On the horizontal direction, we will be given symbols like we are given there, A up to D. And on the vertical axis or we usually refer to it mathematically as the y-axis, will be given the numbers 1 to 4 like it is given to us. Now, in order for you to give the location of a certain place on the map, like I've made an example of you maybe wanting to go to Kings Park Zoological Gardens. If maybe you want to indicate using the grid analysis the location of that particular area or place that you want to go to, you use the grid analysis. And remember, mathematically, the x coordinate comes first. It is very, very important for you to know that. The x coordinate comes first, and then it is supposed to be followed by the y coordinate. So for zoological, Kings Park Zoological Garden, the grid reference will be, we start on the y-axis, the horizontal direction, it is A, and then we go to y, then it will be 2. So in this case, it will be A2. This place, it is situated at A2. But we don't usually penalize you if you write 2A. But remember, mathematically, the x coordinate comes first. So it's supposed to be A2. So that is the grid analysis. And then from the grid analysis, I would like us to look at, again, the compass direction. It is very, very important to know that when you look at the map, this is the north of the map, this is the east side of the map, this is the west side of the map, and this is the south side of the map. Please, Gr.12s, make sure that you always use the compass direction that is provided to you on the map. You cannot use the compass that you know maybe from studying from other subjects. You have to use the one that is provided to you. Right. And then from the compass direction, again, I've talked about the scale. We all know how the scale works now. The scale 1 is to 10,000. Let us look now at the questions, possible questions that you may get from using this map. Right. Possible questions. Remember, I've said it is very, very important to read all the information given to you. Now, it is start there by giving us the information in the box. In the box, they say, Bloemfontein Celtics PRO. By PRO, we are referring to the Public Relation Officer. Used the map above. By map above, I'm referring to this map, to direct fans traveling outside Bloemfontein who came to watch the match between their team and Mamelodi Sundowns. So this is the information given to you. The first question is, write down the grid reference of the Free State Stadium. Gr.12s, what will be the answer for this one? Please remember, when we write the grid reference, mathematically, we have to start with the x, the value appearing on the x-axis or the horizontal line, and that value must be followed by the number which is appearing on the vertical side or the y-axis. So we are looking for the grid reference of the Free State Stadium. What is your answer to that? I want to believe that we all get the same answer. So the answer for this one will be A3. It's A there, we go there, and then on this side is 3. So the answer is A3. So that is the answer that we all get, A3. Now for this question, you'll only get 1 mark, usually, from the question papers. Now the second question is saying, after the match, fans would like to visit the National Museum and the agriculture statue. So describe the shortest route from the National Museum to the agriculture statue. And for this question, you'll only get 2 marks. Let us go to the map. Look at the map where the National Museum is. There is our National Museum. And the agriculture statue, there is our agriculture statue. So the question is saying you have to give the shortest route from the National Museum to the agriculture statue. Now we can all see that the National Museum is situated right there on the Henry Street. Now it means when you start, you will say from the National Museum, which is in the Henry Street, you turn, what is the direction? You turn right. And remember the importance of using or of you knowing the compass direction. Which direction is this one? This is northeast. So if you don't say you turn right, you will say you turn in there to the northeasterly direction. So you turn right, you go straight or you continue. Please be very careful. Be careful, the grade 12s. On the map we have 2 and 8. The first N8 is of the Nelson Mandela Street and the second one is of Zastron. So in this case you have to be specific. Which N8 are you talking about? So I'll advise you to use the name of the street other than using N8. So you turn right, you continue straight, and when you get there, you turn now. What is this direction? You turn left. Either you say turn left or to the, what is this? According to the compass direction, this is northwest. So you turn to the northwesterly direction. And then you continue straight. And then agriculture statue will be on your left. I'm sure we all understand. I've written it there on the answers, which is exactly what I have just discussed with you from the map. From National Museum, which is in Henry Street, you turn right. If you don't say right, you turn northeast into Green Street and continue straight, and then at Zastron Street, remember I've said it's N8, but because there are 2 N8s, you have to be specific. You turn left or northwest, and then you continue straight, and then agriculture statue will be on your left. I'm sure you can see how important it is to be able to read your map. Now the next question there, which normally counts 1 mark. In which general direction does Maghraf Street run? Let us go to the map. Please look carefully. Grade 12s, remember you have 3 hours to answer the question paper. There's no need for you to rush. Look carefully at the map, and there is no way that you'll be asked about the street that is not there. So please look carefully and make sure that you find the street. So when I look there, Maghraf is right there. So Maghraf is either going this direction or it is going this direction. So in this case, it is very important for you to now use your compass direction. So if we go that direction, it means it runs towards the northwest. It's either you say northeast, or it is southwest. This direction is southwest. So in this case, your answers will either be northeast, like I've said, or it will be southwest. Thank you very much. Let us now move to the next question. Right. Now the next question says the distance on the map between the stadium and the National Museum is 15 centimeters. This is the distance on the map. Now the scale on the map, it is given to us is 1:10,000. Remember what when I started, I explained what does this means grade 12. 1 centimeter represents 10,000 centimeters. And this will go again with the unit that is given to you in the question. If maybe the question was saying 15 millimeters, this would mean 1 millimeter on the map represent 10,000 millimeters. Please be careful. Now, use the scale to calculate the actual distance between the stadium and the National Museum in meters. Grade 12s, we all know by now that the actual distance is either in meters or kilometers. Like learners at Tabanchu. If you are traveling from Tabanchu to Botshabelo, you will normally say from Tabanchu to Botshabelo is 20 kilometers or 15 kilometers. So you actually, when you talk about the actual distance, it will either be in meters or in kilometers. Right, now let us look at this one. We set 1 centimeter represent, which means equals to 10,000 centimeters. Now we are given from the question 15 centimeters. So this means that 15 centimeters, we are going to multiply it by 10,000 centimeters to get the actual distance on the ground. Because it is 15 on the map, we are looking for the actual distance now on the ground. So it is 15 multiplied by 10,000. Grade 12s, I don't really think we need a calculator to multiply this one. What is your answer? 15,000 multiplied by 10,000. It's 15. And then the zeros there. 1, 2, 3. What is this number? 150,000 centimeters. Now remember, let us go back to the question. They said we must give now the answer in meters. We are expected to give the answer in meters, which means we have to convert now 150 centimeters. We have to convert 150 centimeters to meters. Grade 12s, I don't want you to change the method that has been taught to you by your teacher. If you are comfortable and you understand that method, this is not the time to change. But I'm just going to share with you this method that I usually use when I convert. Remember, in mathematical literacy, we are only working with 4 units. We are working with kilometers, we are working with meters, we are working with centimeters, we are also working with millimeters. In mathematical literacy, these are the 4 units that we are working with. Now to convert 1 kilometer, if we are converting to meters, is actually equals to 1,000, the number of 0. 1 kilometers is equals to 1,000 meters. 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeters. And then 1 centimeter is equals to 10 meters. Usually when I convert, for me to remember, this is what I do. If I'm converting from kilometers now to meters, it means whatever I'm doing, number I'm having, I'm going to multiply it by 1,000. If let's say I'm converting from meters now to centimeters, the number that I'm having, I'm going to multiply it by 100. Converting from centimeters now to millimeters, the number that I'm going to have, I'm going to multiply it by 10. Let's say you are converting from kilometers to centimeters. You are converting from kilometers to centimeters. The only thing that you have to do is to count the number of 0 from here to there. It means we are going to multiply by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which means when I convert from kilometer to centimeter, I'm going to multiply by, what number is this? 100,000. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or maybe I'm converting from kilometers to millimeters. Again, I'm counting the number of zeros. How many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is this number? it's a million. Which means when you convert from kilometers to millimeters, you have to multiply by a million. I hope you find this method very easy. Now, if maybe I'm converting from millimeters to meters, I'm converting from centimeters to kilometers. Grade 12's very easy. When you change the direction, when I change the direction, it means now from millimeters to centimeters, I'm dividing by 10. From centimeters to meters, I'm dividing by 1,000, by 100, sorry, by 100. From meters to kilometers, I'm dividing by 1,000. Let's say I'm now converting from centimeter to kilometers. Remember, we have changed the direction now. We are moving from this direction to this one. We divide. Very important for you to know that you divide. How many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It means when you convert from centimeters to kilometers, you are going to divide by 100,000. I hope you find that method easy to use, grade 12s. Now, moving back to the question, remember the answer that we got now is 150 centimeters. We have to convert 150 centimeters to meters. We have to convert centimeters, 150 centimeters to meters. What is the direction? We are taking this direction. So what are we going to do? We are going to divide. We are going to divide by what number? We are converting from centimeters to meters. It means we are going to divide by 100. Let us go back. The number that we have is 150, 1, 2, 3 centimeters. We are converting to meters, so I've said we are going to divide. We divide by 100. We don't need a calculator. 0 will cancel this one. This 0 will cancel this one. Now you are having 1,500 meters. So the answer that we are going to have there is 1,500 meters. So let us say, for argument's sake, the question was saying you convert to kilometers. Remember, we are having 150,000 centimeters. Let us say now we were converting from centimeters to kilometers. From centimeters to kilometers. Centimeter to kilometer, we divide. Look at the direction, we divide. How many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are going to divide by 100,000. So let us go back there. We divide by 100,000. I don't think you need a calculator to do that. This 0 will cancel, this one will cancel, this one will cancel, and this one will cancel. So you'll be left with 15 divided by a 10. You can use your calculator for that one if you want. So it's 15 divided by a 10. You press the SD button there. So the answer is 1,5 kilometers. Grade 12s, I hope you find this method easy to use. Thank you. So remember the answer there for us, because they said we have to convert to meters. We have the answer as 1,500 meters. So that is the answer that we got. Now, remember Dr. Renette did with us basic calculations. And I've said to you, it's very, very important for you to master your basic calculations, because we are going to use them throughout the question paper. So this might be the question that you may get after using your map. The question is saying there are 15 fans traveling from Rouville to Bloemfontein. So if each ticket cost 40 rand, calculate the total amount that 15 fans will pay to watch the game. What are you going to do to get the answer? I hope you now master your basic calculations. There are 15 fans, each paying 40 rand. So it's 15 multiplied by 40. So the answer there is 600. If maybe we may check it. 15 multiplied by 40, your answer is 600. The next question again, which may be from basic calculations. Everyone paid 80 rand to travel from Rouville to Bloemfontein. Write down the amount paid for the transport and the amount paid for the tickets as a ratio. Very important, basic calculations. So your answer must be in a simplified form. And learners, be very careful about the order in which you write your ratio. The question will always lead you. Like in this case, they say, write down the amount paid for the transport and the amount paid for the tickets, which means you're going to start with the amount, the transport amount, and then this side you're going to transport is to, this side you'll be writing the amount for the tickets. So it is very important to look at the order in which you write your ratio. Now remember, we only have now the total amount that they are going to pay for the tickets, which is 600. We still have to calculate now for the transport. Each pay 80 rand for the transport. How many are they? We have 15 of them. Let us calculate the answer that we are going to get. It's 80 multiplied by 15. So the answer is 1,200. 1,200. So remember there, we had 600 for amount of tickets. Now we have 1,200. So it will be 1,200 is to 600. But they said the answer must be in a simplified form. So in this case, I think both numbers are divisible by 600. So 600 goes how many times into 1,200? It goes 2 times. And then into 600, it goes how many times? It goes once. So the ratio in this case is 2:1. So very important to master your basic skills calculations. Now the next question that I have for you grade 12s, that I think I'm going to give you some time to do. I took this question from November 2010. This question, I took it from November 2010. Look at the map there. This is the street map of a part of the area where Mr. D. Han lives. So look at the map and try to do the questions. For now, try to do 3.3.1 and 3.3.2. Right, grade 12s, I hope you got this one right. 3.3.1 it's saying, Give the grid reference of the Van Riebeck Sport Stadium. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at your answers. I hope that you listened to me, that you have to start with the number or the alphabet on the y-axis, and it must be followed by the number on the, remember the number on the x-axis, sorry, this is the x-axis, and it must be followed by the number on the y-axis. So what is your answer for this one? Let us look at Van Riebeck Sport Stadium. Wow, there it is. There it is. You start with your C, and then the number there is 4, which means for September exam, November, December exam, I'm not going to come across, or teachers are not going to see you writing 4C. Remember, we don't penalize you for that, but this is not mathematically correct. You have to start with the number on the horizontal, and then you go to the alphabet on the horizontal, and then you go to the number on the vertical. 3.3.2, write down the names of the streets on either side of the City Hall complex. What is your answer? Here is our City Hall complex. On either side, English, which means that side and this side. So what are the names of the streets there? I think we have Long Street, and the next one is, there is Long Street, the next one is this one Mesh or Mash? Grade 12s? Is this one Mesh or Mash? But that is the name of the street as it appears on the map. Right, I'm now going to give you again 5 minutes to do 3.3.3 and 3.3.4. Right, grade 12s, I hope you got this ones right. 3.3.3 is saying, Mr. Dehan drives out of the parking area of the Van Riebeck Sports Stadium. Remember where the stadium is? There is the stadium. Here is the parking area. Here is the parking area. Now they say, and then turns right into George Street. From here, turns right into George Street. He then turns left into Montague Street. Goes straight there and then turns into the street. I hope it is clear. And continues driving until he reaches Mesh Street. Go straight until he is right there. Here he is now. It is very, very important for you to understand what you are reading. And if you don't understand, like I'm doing, I'm using a pen just to make sure that I understand what is the question saying to me. Now, I can then answer the question. The question is saying, in which direction must he turn if he wants to go directly into the entrance of the police station? Back to the map. He is there. Where is the police station? There is the police station. There is the police station. Now, in which direction must he turn? Remember, it's either you say he turns. Which direction is this one? Is it right or left? This is right. It's either you say he turns right or you say he turns to the east direction. You'll say he turns right until he reaches the police station, or you may say he turns easterly direction. Right. And then 3.3.4, grade 12s. I'm not sure how you practice by now. I'm not sure the advice given to you by the teachers to practice. But when you want to look at how questions are being asked in different question papers so that you prepare yourself thoroughly, you have to make sure that you take one question, one topic. Like in this case, remember we are dealing with maps and scales. You take a question paper of November 2008, November 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012. You look at this type of a question. You look at how the examiners ask these questions. Now, for this question, remember in the example that we did, 3.3.4, it was not asked in this way. In this case, they are saying the distance measured on the map from Mr. D. Han's house to the entrance on the Bayview Hospital is 8.9 centimeters. Then you calculate the actual distance. Remember, I've said the actual distance, it is definitely in kilometers. If 1 centimeter on the map represents 0.3 kilometers. By 1 centimeter on the map, it means the map that we are seeing in front of us. It represents 0.3 kilometers on the actual map, or we call it the ground, on the ground. It represents 0.3. So this question is not asked the same way. So you must make sure that you prepare yourself for questions like this one and questions like the way we did it in the example. So let us together do this one. I hope you got it right. They are saying 1 centimeter represent or equals to 0.3 kilometers. And if we are given 8.9 centimeters, we have to convert it to kilometers now. What do we do? How do we convert 8.9 centimeters to kilometers? So in this case, it is quite clear that you have to multiply. Do you still remember that method? You have to multiply. So in order for us to get the answer, we are going to say 0.3 kilometers multiplied by 8.9 centimeters. Let us do it together using the calculator. 0.3 multiplied by 8.9. What is your answer? Remember, you have to press the SD button. So the answer there is 2.67. So the answer is 2.67. Remember, rounding, they always say we must make sure that our answers are to 2 decimal places. So luckily in this case, we don't have to round the number. After the comma, we are having 2 digits, so we are safe. So the answer is 2.67. You are converting to kilometers, so the unit is very important. So it is 2.67 kilometers. Grade 12s, thank you very much. I hope you have learned a lot, and please make sure that you don't change the method of conversions like I've taught you today. If you are comfortable with the method that you are using, it's fine. But if not, I've explained this method. If maybe you still don't understand but you want to use the method, make sure that you talk to your teachers. Thank you very much, grade 12s, and good luck.